how do we establish that? How do we build on that? How do we learn to embody the authenticity of whom we're truly capable of being? I didn't just say, how do we embody the authenticity of what we're truly capable of being? I didn't do that. I said, how can we embody the authenticity of what we're truly capable of being? Prefer the first one again? I hope not. You felt the difference the second time? There's integrity in that. Now, you don't know me from a turnip. But I want you to feel safe. Because I'm going to take you into some really unique places tonight that you've never experienced. And so I need to earn your trust. I want you to recognize that your voice is a brand. If I say to you right now, do I need to use this, by the way? Is it better if I do this? Or does it matter? Yeah, but you're not supposed to beat the back tables anyway. Jeez, said I don't want to work that. But can you hear me okay? Can you still hear me okay? Yeah, okay. And for the camera, is it okay with or without? Cool. So if I say to you, thank you very much for having me. I'm really glad to be here tonight. Thank you very much for having me. Very glad to be here tonight. One or two?
Two.
Are you being...
Well, do it again. Let me hear it.
Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. I'm really glad to be here. Or, thank you very much for having me here tonight. I'm very glad to be here.
Two sound more authentic.
Right.
One sounded like you were unsure. But you weren't sure if you were glad to be here.
Now, while I did that silly little exercise, it didn't occur to you the first time that I spoke too high or I spoke too fast. All you got that I was inauthentic, disingenuous. Just saying thank you in a perfunctory way. The second one, it didn't occur to you that I breathed, that my pitch went lower, and I slowed down. All you got was I was more genuine. So I'm teaching you tonight that voice is power. Doesn't mean big, bombastic. It means integral, authentic. And just like somebody taught so many of my clients how to do whatever they did successfully as great athletes, or do successfully as great athletes, tonight I'm going to teach you how to be who you are in ways you never understood before. And never again to present who you are. There are even whole schools of training that say, got to bond with your audience. You heard that, right? So what if I try to make nice with you, and what if your colleague has a different POV, a different point of view? I can't serve you both. So that's not this work. This is not about presentation. This is about being. We're also sometimes taught to speak to the last row of the house. So you've heard that one before too? So look what happens when I try to reach the last row of the house. What happens to my pitch? I get a nosebleed, it goes so high. Because pitch instinctively rises when I try to get out there. So I don't want to do that, and you're going to learn how not to do that either. Watch my face, please. Voice is power. When you own your voice, you own your power. Here I go with number 2. Voice is power. When I own my voice, I own my power. 1 or 2? What was the only difference I made visually? Were you aware of it?
You raised your eyebrows.
I opened my eyes. My eyebrows became part of that. Because the mouth is where the words come from, but the eyes help tell the story. They actually changed the sound of a voice. When you own your voice, you own your power. When you own your voice, you own your power. It's fundamentally different. We're going to come back to this a few times tonight, and you're going to, as I input all these little different elements in a few minutes, and you're going to hear how radically different it is by just doing a few little things. Somebody have a second hand? Time me from your phone, please, somebody. I'm going to do this exercise 4 times. Would you mind doing it, Andrea? Andrea or Andrea?
Andrea.
And you weren't going to correct me, were you, Andrea?
I was.
Were you?
Yes.
Cool. Most people wouldn't, of course. So thank you.
You let me know.
I didn't hear you.
You let me know. When you
Yes, I'm thinking about what I want to say. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
You're truly extraordinary people who do extraordinary things. How long?
2.93.
2.93. 3 more times.
3, 2, 1.
You're truly extraordinary people who do extraordinary things.
3.5.
2 more times.
3, 2, 1. Go.
You're truly
2.7.
And the last one.
But I'll say I couldn't hear the end, so I probably.
Okay, I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
3, 2, 1. Go. 3.96.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I am.
I checked it.
Cool, all right.
They're the same basis I need.
You double check each other. This is very cool. Okay, and the last
Check your
one.
work.
3, 2, 1. Go.
One more time. Do that. I'm going to play. May I play with you for a sec before the 4th one? Now say the same thing again, but breathe. I'm going to help you breathe before you say it. You ready?
I'm breathing.
Yeah, this is my, it'll take 5 to 7 seconds. And at the apex of that inhale, you're going to give me the 3, 2.
3, 2, 1. Go.
You're extraordinary people and you do extraordinary things. I didn't want to do that. I'm so very sorry. One more time. But did your her energy feel different at this table? Could you tell?
Yes.
All because of breath. That's all it was.
So
You
you
felt
said
that.
breathe before, and then
Yes.
when you're at the top of the breath,
Right.
you speak.
In sport, whatever sport, the release point, whether it's this, that, whatever it is, the release point is at the apex. We know that. So you're going to learn tonight that breath is fuel. So if we don't, and then so we breathe, and then we speak at the apex of that inhale. If we don't put gas in the tank of our car, we ain't getting to the destination. But most of us speak like this. We don't breathe, and so we just run out of breath wherever we run out of breath, and that's not very strategic. Imagine if you put the decimal point in the wrong place. Don't get the same answer. Well, that's what I do with breath. Changes everything.
Okay.
You think what I'm saying? Okay.
3, 2.
That was very nice. Let's slow it down and make it 5 seconds.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Go.
You are extraordinary people, and you do extraordinary things.
4.2.
Now, the first one was not 2 seconds better because it was 2 seconds faster.
Correct.
The metaphor there is, in communication, it is never how fast, only how effective. Do you have, somebody show me something from your society that I can read? Any sort of a vision statement for your society or anything on a phone? Is there anything like that anywhere?
Look it up.
And so, that's really important because if I go too fast, I lose information, I convey less integrity, I'm streaming data, ... So it is never how fast, only how effective. The third and fourth, the third one was a cartoon like the first one was a cartoon. And it illustrates we have a finite amount of time and space. Thank you, guys. It's not Mills.
Bradley.
Bradley, I'm sorry.
That's it.
We have a finite amount of time and space. It's how I use the energy in that time and space. So I can, where did it go here? Oh, here it is. CFA societies are locally led organizations that offer professional development, advocacy, and brand building. Like watching grass grow. maybe even not that interesting. CFA societies are locally led organizations that offer professional development, advocacy, and brand building. CFA societies are locally led organizations that offer professional development, advocacy, and brand building. Obviously. Do some of you make presentations?
Yes. A lot of that.
A lot of that?
A lot of that.
So watch my face here, watch my eyes. Obviously, I would do better if I knew what I was reading, but I want to show you, give you a tip I hadn't planned on giving. Here's what many of you may do. CFA societies are locally led organizations that offer professional development, advocacy, and brand building. Look familiar?
Yes.
Watch vocal awareness. CFA societies are locally led organizations that offer professional development, advocacy, and brand building. What was different?
Pause between words.
Yes?
You you read it, delivered it, read it, and delivered out
Exactly.
the second time.
My
The first
eye
time-
contact.
The first time you read it, looked up, read it,
Right,
and the second
No
time
context,
you
no connection.
looked down, up, or down.
right. So,
Your voice also moved.
sure it did. Thank you. On my website, I have a TED Talk. And if I prove interesting to you tonight, I'd encourage you to take a look. I've been teaching, I just began my 62nd year of teaching. And in all of these decades, I've probably written 3 speeches out in my entire life. See how many words I have in front of me tonight. I like to riff. I call myself the Wynton Marsalis of communication. I like to riff. He's a great jazz trumpeter, also a great classical trumpeter. And I do that not to be lazy, but as my challenge to myself to be in the work, capital W work. But that one, I had very specific goals. Couldn't be longer than 18 minutes, for example. It was 18 minutes almost to the second. Bless you. And I had something I really wanted to get across. I couldn't just take my time like I'm doing tonight and get to my point as I chose to. So I wrote this speech out. Even the day of the event, I practiced it 25 to 30 times. That's me. I was so bored with myself, I wanted to drive a stake in my heart, I can assure you. I got to the event with my bride a couple of hours ahead of everyone else. Went off in an empty room, closed the door with my tape recorder on, and practiced some more. I have a master's in voice. I'm a classical singer before I do all this other stuff. So for me, this was not a presentation. This was a recital. And a recital is impeccable. You will never see or hear a mistake. Also, sidebar, we're told that we make presentations. Completely wrong. The root of the word present literally means to introduce formally, to bring before the public. But every public interaction from this to a Zoom meeting to this is actually a performance because someone is watching or listening. But we've misconstrued those 2 words. The root of the word perform means to carry out, fulfill. to do. Present to introduce formally. So, in our work, it's interesting, and all these amazing athletes I've had the privilege of knowing over the decades. You think about the thousands and thousands of men who, for example, played in the NFL, the National Football League, and less than 500 are Hall of Famers. Of the less than 500 that are Hall of Famers, less than 50 or 60 are first ballot. They got in unanimously the first time, and I've taught about the fourth or fifth of those. And I've learned something that I want to really teach you tonight. I'm very, very good with language. I'm making a lot of intellectual sense, aren't I? But I don't want you to be spun by words. This is a doing work, as we will get into in a moment. We have to do it to be it. It's one thing to have a significant career, to make yourself success in a sport. That's huge. But to then become a Hall of Famer, then become a first ballot, and the only difference is that Hall of Famer literally may not be more talented or even more gifted. But no one will work harder than they do. No one will sustain the subtle things that they practice and study, and no one will sustain that focus longer. That's the difference. So this Hall of Fame, this TED Talk, this would be required of me to be and do my best. I can't just go out and do it. So I encourage you to take what I'm saying to heart and begin preparing even a first paragraph. I know if you have PowerPoint slides, you don't even write out the slides. You have bullets. But watch what happens if you start to write out the slides. ESPN was a client for many years, and I worked with maybe third or fourth in command on the company for a great number of years. And he came to me because he was a stutterer and whip smart. And when I saw his first team presentation, he did a half a dozen or so of these a year, he had bullets. And I was like asleep after the second slide. Every event from that point on, for the next 3 or 4 years, he wrote every one of them out. He'd send them to me ahead of time. He was based in New York. I'd fly in for the getting ready. We'd rehearse it in preparation. We'd drive up to Bristol, Connecticut, where ESPN is in the middle of nowhere. It's a 2.5 to 3 hour drive. We're practicing in the car. We practiced before, because a champion does it differently. In the first meeting that I went to where he did this work, I was sitting next to a woman who I thereafter began teaching, who created ESPNW, ESPN for Women. And everything that he underlined, or that we underlined, I'm going to teach that tonight too, she took notes. It's called visceral language, because of the way he impacted the statement. What word was just underlined? You actually saw it, right? So what word are you going to remember? Impacted. And those are the notes she took. So we really want to understand how, if you want to be at this level of excellence in time, my leadership acrostic, an acrostic is where each letter of the word is written vertically, represents an interpretation of the word. The L stands for leading by example. One of my favorite words is one of the E words in the acrostic, ennobling. When you embody the size of who you are, you ennoble others and help them discover how to hold themselves accountable. Other E words in that acrostic. Energy. This is vibration. Close your eyes, please. No peeking. So I'm still going to speak, and I've taken all my workout right now. I'm just speaking so you can hear me. But I'm taking my workout, and I wonder what you think about me, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, keeping your eyes closed while I shift. And when I speak to you now in vocal awareness, Does the energy feel different? What do you feel about me that might be possibly even a bit more compelling or integral compared to when I talk with you like this? Open your eyes and randomly share your thoughts, please.
Sounds more confident.
I didn't hear you.
Sounds more confident.
In vocal awareness?
Yes.
Can you tell me that and see a period after the word confident?
Sounds more confident.
You mean like I did that time? All he did was see a period. You heard it though, right? It wasn't just a word. It meant something. Anybody else?
I had the experience of listening to NPR.
Could I interrupt you?
Yes.
Would you tell me that with your eyes on me?
Yes. I had the experience of listening to a presenter like on NPR. Like
Okay, now look there again and tell me the same thing.
I had an experience like I was listening
Hear
to
the
NPR.
difference? When we make eye contact, it literally changes the sound of a voice.
Do it again. I had the experience of being in a listening.
That's time out. Let's breathe. Like Andrea did. Deeper, 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 deeper. Understatement.
I had the experience of listening to NPR.
Oh, thank you. I had a little more of that experience just now with you.
Okay.
But you heard the difference, right?
Yeah.
And also, he was listening to himself. You were monitoring that. You were trying to keep that together.
Yes.
Not to be self-conscious, but to strive to be in the moment. That was very nice. Thank you. And you got cool chops.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I?
Please, if you
Awesome.
breathe and if you maintain eye contact. However, it's not a bench press. You're going to breathe in a very specific way. Slowly, deeper.
I recently saw a YouTube video with an NFL quarterback talking about him working on his voice.
Who was that?
Cam Newton.
No, I didn't train Cam. I trained
Did-
Kurt Warner for about 14 years.
Okay. He talked about being able to be heard by the wide receivers on either side,
Of
and
course.
that it was something that he had to work on.
But he
for-
didn't talk about how he stripped his gears also because he would scream all the time.
Quite possible.
Yes.
And for me, I had never thought of it in my life that was something that a quarterback would work on, and yet it's so clear when you watch the sport that
Yes.
it's a lot of vocal
Especially when he played
communication.
where the Seahawks play. Or
Right.
things like that.
Everywhere. I mean,
Yes.
well, yeah, maybe
Yes.
not in Atlanta. It's a little quiet here, but hopefully not for too long. But anyway, yeah. It never occurred to me that someone would work on it.
Thank you. I better check my time here. I'm going all over the place. In all verbal communication, only 8% of our communication is language-based. Talking about body language, my eyes, breath.
That's not true. Everybody says it's statistic all the time. It's ridiculous.
Tell me why.
Go to South America. I guarantee you it'll pick up 92% of the content. It's quoted in every speech textbook. It makes me absolutely crazy. If only 8% is the actual words, we wouldn't need translators.
But he didn't finish his statement.
I didn't finish the statement. It actually is scientifically true, but I don't have time to. I would if
It's not
afterwards.
sourced. I looked it up.
Pardon?
It's not sourced. It's just repeated.
I'd love that conversation with you after the group. Because I've been studying, I know what you're saying. When I first heard that decades ago, I understood where you're coming from. But in all these years of training, and especially in what I call right now the fingers and thumbs generation, where we tend to stream data, our mouth is our mind out loud. We don't really distinguish one thing from the other. It all sounds rather monochromatic. And so it's hard to discern. I didn't just say it's hard to discern. This first way is more impactful because you hear two words that I'm embedded. Would you agree with that?
Yes, but it's not 92% of the content.
I didn't finish the statement. 8% is language-based. 92% is body language and the sound of a voice.
And 100% is what? The meaning?
So 100%.
If 8% is the words,
The words are conveyed through the interpretation, the understanding of those words. If we're not communicating effectively enough through our body language and the sound of our voices, we lose the meaning of the words.
that's not true. You wouldn't be able to read a book. It's ridiculous.
Okay,
It's the other way around, maybe. 92% is the words and 8% is the cherry on top to get the meaning to be really impactful.
okay. I'm going to leave it alone for right now because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole with you. But you're welcome to your interpretation. Fair enough? And part of the point that I'm making, whether we agree or disagree with the percentages, is that if I'm talking with you like this, I could be speaking very importantly about things. But this is, because there is no other communication context, my words are flat, my speed is flat, my breathing is flat. There is no way to distinguish what's important from what's not important. You lose the meaning. Compared to when I speak with you more like this, more intentional. And I can pick up the tempo when I want to be really excited, but I can do that at the end. And if I pick up the tempo when I'm really excited and my eyes aren't doing anything, it loses its impact. So all I'm saying is, the more elements that you add to your communication, the more effective is that communication. Does that make empirical sense? And I mean empirical. So I'd like you, if you can take a note in your phone right now. It's a really cool exercise, if you'd like to do it, on a piece of paper. It's called choosing my vocal and presentational persona. If voice is a brand, how do you want to be known? Anybody know what the root of the word persona comes from? What it means?
No.
The root word is an ancient Etruscan root word, phersu, P-H-E-R-S-U. It literally means through the sound. One's identity is largely conveyed through the sound of a voice. And an opinion created instantaneously. That's how we buy things. That's how, blah, blah, blah. But it also referred to the actors in ancient Greek theaters who would change their persona, they would change their mask. But these masks had pursed lips, like the embouchure, a mouth position for playing a wind instrument. The embouchure for blowing a trumpet is different than the mouth position for playing an oboe, for example. In the theater, they were pursed, like that. So the sound that enabled the sound coming through the mask to carry in these outdoor amphitheaters to the upper reaches of these theaters, just because the lips were pursed. So the root of the word persona means through the sound, sidebar, also through the mask, but not the mask we hide in, or hide behind, just the mask. We also tend to hide behind the masks we create, of course. So the first question you answer is, how do I believe I'm presently perceived? How do I believe I'm presently perceived? The second question is, how would I ideally like to be known? And it raises a really interesting thought. I didn't even know I actually had a choice. What are we told is the greatest fear in society? It's totally bogus, but I hear it all the time. Public speaking, one. Yeah, public speaking ranks ahead of death and taxes. It's totally ludicrous, but that's a statistic I've been hearing for generations. I don't know where it came from, but that's what I hear. Totally bogus. The greatest fear are actually two fears. Fear of abandonment and ownership of my power. Claiming myself and not being afraid of what you think of me while I'm being myself. That's where all this misinformation comes about presentation and bonding with your audience and all of this stuff, because it's about approval. I hope you like me. Does that resonate with anybody? So we give our power away. So this is a very empowering exercise. Because I'm teaching empowerment through voice. I used to tell Tony decades ago, Tony, we cannot empower others. That's arrogant. But we can help them empower themselves. That's this work. And my promise is, if you explore this work, you will not be made into somebody you're not. But I'm committed to helping bringing out what's possible. I really want you to be sovereign, supreme excellence, or an example of it. I want you to be outrageous if that's what you want. I want you to not just do your best, you already do your best. You're hugely successful people, I'm sure. This is a really important organization, I know that. But how do we step into the leadership of what's truly possible? How do we own this? So it's time for me to begin to teach you how to do that. Let's everybody sit up nice and tall. Sit at attention, please. No, that's sitting at attention with the elbows on the table. Sit at attention, please. And notice how you hold your breath. That's what we do. Unbeknownst to us, we'll hold our breath when we go to present. Now watch what happens if we don't do that. I'm going to guide you in a moment. I'm going to do it first with what I call the golden thread. And if you look at my client list, and this gets a little weird, just so you're in good company. So it gets a little weird, but stick with it, because lots of cool people do this, if you like the company. So we take this golden thread from 3 inches below your navel. That's where core begins. If you think of the Da Vinci drawing of the Vitruvian Man, actually I got to see that last summer in Venice. And oh my God, it's only this big. And it's in a darkened area with lights on, obviously very well protected. Oh my goodness, that really is. And this is core, right there. 3 inches below your navel is the balance point for the center of your body. So we begin our golden thread here, and watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to strive to embody myself as a person of stature, feeling extraordinary about me. And I just slowly and gracefully pull this golden thread right up through the middle of my body. If any of you know yoga, this is called the crown chakra. Right up through the middle of the crown chakra. And notice where my arm is, next to my ear. It's not over here somewhere. My arm is not crooked. I'm pulling it all the way up, taller and taller. And as I'm doing it, the goal is to pull from the lats, from your lateral obliques here, not from your neck and shoulders. So neck and shoulders are released. Look at the angle of my head. All I'm doing is embodying a man of stature. Let's join me, team. Sitting, feet firmly.
Is it incidental that looks like the start of when a conductor does at a symphony?
Incidental.
Incidental, okay.
Yeah. So if you really see what I'm doing, I call myself a third base coach. You're going to see them when we do all these absurd things, talking to your unconscious. So I'm conducting. Don't use the backs of your chairs, please, for a moment. And eyes on me. You want to put your phone down? Thank you. And slowly and gracefully pull this golden thread with the thought of embodying an extraordinary person of stature. Warmth on your face. Slowly, slowly with me. I don't want to get whiplash. Right up to the middle. Neck, shoulders loose. Straight up. Arm next to your ear. Arm next to your ear. No, not your ear, to your shoulder. Move your arm over. Taller. Taller. Neck, shoulders loose. Pulling from here. And within yourself, say to yourself, I'm an extraordinary person, not out loud. Arm down. Is the room quieter? Did anybody observe the first thing you did the second time when I asked you to be in statue? What the first thing was your body did?
Breathe.
You breathe. Anybody notice that? Watch. We're not going to go all the way. I'm just going to start it. Embody yourselves as men and women of stature, please. See the impulse? First impulse is to breathe. Now watch what happens when I say, sit at attention. You stop breathing. So stature is preparation. I won't teach them all to you tonight, for the 7 rituals of vocal awareness. All these amazing artists and athletes I've trained over the decades have rituals. An athlete, for example, before they compete, after they stretch and then whatever, they have a prayer. Some sort of personal ritual. Even if it's a team prayer, they have their own. Every single one of them. That artist coming out from the wings in just a moment isn't kibitzing with the stage manager. They're in their own private moment, preparing. But we just walk into a meeting and talk. But this is mastery. This is life mastery. This year, with my 80th birthday in January, I'm fully committed for the next decades of my life to teach mastery through communication. I've been teaching it for decades, obviously, but I'm truly focused on the notion of mastery. And it sort of don't happen. So I want to awaken the champion within you. So stature is preparation. And it's the first step in what I call a mastery moment. Before you walk into the meeting, before you get on the call, before you go to Zoom. You put yourself in stature. The second piece is embody the persona statement that you've committed to being. Now we're going to look up into a breath. Place one hand in the middle of your chest, right on the sternum. A little lower, please. Right there. Mm-hmm. And third and fourth finger on your Adam's apple, your thyroid cartilage. That's where your larynx is, your voice box. Just up on the bump. And take your index finger and place it right here against the base of your tongue. Right there where your index finger is the strongest muscle in your body per diameter. The base of your tongue. It's crazy. But this is where we, for decades, for our entire lives, since we crawled out of a cave, this is where you trap trauma. Strongest muscle in the body, TMJ, temporomandibular joint, the most complex joint in our bodies, 56 moving parts right there. Our jaw is capable of multiple thousands of pounds of force per square inch. So right now all I'm doing is tightening my tongue and jaw. You don't know that. I'm just telling you that. And now I take that tongue and jaw tension out and listen to the difference. That's huge. But for you, there's still all the other stuff stuck in there. And I don't want it stuck in there. So now we're going to learn how to release it. Try to sit in stature without the backs of the chairs, please. And take a nice deep top of the morning breath. It's great to be alive. And exhale. You feel your chest rise? You feel that your lungs and tongue flex a little bit? Let's do it again so you can feel that too if you can. You feel that a tiny bit? Take a deep breath. Pushing out just a tiny bit, maybe constricting just a little bit here. You might feel a difference here in a moment. That's less important than this. Keep this hand here, excuse me. And now take the other one and put it under your armpit, under your jacket or whatever. Sitting in stature, no neck or shoulder tension. Keep your hand here. And this time we're not going to take a deep breath. We're going to allow a slow, silent conscious, loving breath. This makes no empirical sense, I know that. But just stay with me. It will take 5 to 7 seconds. Just hear the word allow or the word love and stay with my face and my hands. Here we go. Slowly, lovingly, neck, shoulders loose, deeper. Exhale. Deeper, deeper, deeper. Excellent work, everybody. Now, did the chest rise or did the rib cage expand?
Rib cage.
Yes. Did this flex or did it feel a little looser? Anybody notice? It may not have, it's less important. But it is, trust me about that. A breath is not only physical, it's also spiritual and emotional. Tony would refer to my 7 rituals as pattern interrupts. Some of you who know his work would say to create a new pattern, you have to exaggerate behavior to break an old one. So we're undoing lifelong habits. Speech is habit. So I want to create what I refer to not just awareness, that's the first step, but conscious awareness. It's a 360, intra and interpersonally. I want us to stay tuned in. So breath is the pattern interrupt. Anybody know what the root of the word spirit means? Spiritus in Latin? Simply means to breathe. I don't want to motivate a single one of you. I want to inspire you. Inspirare means to breathe into you. The Hebrew word neshama means both soul and breath. Who knew? I'm teaching empowerment through voice, and I want you to own the power. So the third of our 7 rituals, I didn't teach you, the second is called a conscious, loving breath. We don't take it, we allow it. Notice what happens in a moment when you're done taking your note. When I ask you to take a conscious, loving breath, please take a conscious, loving breath. Feels nice, but now watch what happens when I ask you to allow a conscious, loving breath, knowing it takes 5 to 7 seconds. Notice how still it is? You're suddenly grounded inside a tiny bit. Anybody notice that? I don't want to put words in your mouth. But we'll do it again as a group, and I want you to notice what happens in the room. In stature, I should tell you what the first ritual is. That would be good to know. Don't say it aloud. Just take it in within yourself and say thank you to God. Thank you to Source. Any way you want to interpret that. If you're an atheist or agnostic, you can still simply say thank you, and it will still create the same result. So embrace it deeply for yourself for just a moment, saying thank you to Source, however you want to identify it. Anybody notice the room just got quieter? Anybody notice the first thing you just did? Anybody notice you breathe? You breathe. It's so obvious, I don't want to say it. Did I ask you to breathe? No, I just asked you to say thank you. But the body interprets it that way because it's mind, body, spirit. And all mastery in any walk of life, in any discipline, is only achieved when we integrate mind, body, spirit. We know that in the arts, we know that in athletics. Those rituals never change. Look at a batter in the batter's box, for God's sakes. All that stuff never changes. That's a spiritual ritual, not just a mechanical one. So it's also another piece in the mastery moment. The mastery moment, by the way, only takes 30 to 45 seconds. But it's like the redundancies of a pilot in the cockpit. Don't check a box. But I don't want it to be like checking a box. I just want you to integrally relate to each piece of the mastery moment. Stature, thank you, conscious loving breath, persona. Then, what is my vision for this meeting? What is my goal for this meeting? Then you walk in. where you push play, or whatever it is. Then also, if you're in Zoom meetings, keep what I call my checklist right there. Keep referring to it. Say, take my time. It's never how fast, only how effective. So when you see yourself getting wound up, and also, so importantly, record everything. Listen back. It's what I call game film at athletes studying their performance. I have a dear, dear friend and one of my favorite human beings. His name is Dwayne Wade. And Dwayne is an NBA first-ballot Hall of Famer. And I speak about Dwayne for a moment because he's achieved something all the amazing people I've had the privilege of knowing and teaching. He's achieved something that no one else ever did. Dwayne comes from the south side of Chicago, fundamentally different language base. And he's only 6'3" or 6'4", but he's a big man. And sport talk, the voice is often thicker and heavier, and grammar and syntax tend to go out the window. Dwayne came to study with me a couple of months after he retired. And I said to him, would appear arrogant, but not meant to be, he sat down there for 10 minutes or so and said, "You're no longer a basketball player, you don't get to talk like one." Now that sounds rude and arrogant, I know. And I said, my promise to you is not to make you into someone you're not, but to bring out what's possible. About 4.5 months later, he had a speech he had to give as he retired his jersey with the Miami Heat. We finished writing the speech 2 to 3 weeks ahead of that. Put up Prompt Smart on his laptop and started watching words move. We went to the arena that day, and I don't have a flip chart. I can't show you this. They didn't give me a flip chart. I just realized. Kathy forgot my flip chart.
Sorry about that.
You're going to have to visualize this. This is very challenging. Yeah, but you can't see it. But thank you. Voice is power. What letter in the first word did I underline? Voice is power.
The O.
Voice. B.
I underlined the V. Watch. Voice. Do you see me do that?
Yeah.
And then over the V is an accent mark in vocal awareness called a downbeat. I'm a musician. A downbeat gets the greatest pulse, like in a waltz. 1, 2, 3. You attack it differently. So whenever we see this little accent mark, we attack it. Voice. See it? Is not spelled with an S, it's spelled with a Z. Because it's a voiced consonant. Is. Everybody?
Is.
Hear it? And then the last word. I underline the word and I put that downbeat on the P. Voice is power. And now watch my punctuation mark at the end. What do you think I see? Voice is power.
Period.
Period?
Exclamation.
Exclamation. Watch. Voice is power. Here's with the period. Voice is power. Too subtle, or did you hear the difference? So let's all do that for this moment. See the V, underline. See the downbeat, I-Z. Downbeat on the I also, for good measure. P, word, exclamation. Stature, cupping your hands to your ears. Conscious loving breath in 5, 4, heads erect, Andrea. 3, 2.
Voice is power.
Is that any different than the first voice?
Yes.
Little or a lot?
A lot.
Sound inauthentic?
No.
Did it feel inauthentic? Good. And all you did was see 3 words annotated. Well, spend 2.5 to 3 hours annotating the entire speech on the teleprompter. And we had no dress rehearsal. There was no time. We warmed up in the green room in the way you're going to do in a moment with those cool napkins you have in front of you. We're going to have 15, 20 minutes for Q&A because I'm not done teaching. Is that acceptable? Sorry, guys, if we need to go over a little bit, is that acceptable?
Yes.
So we warmed up. When he walked out, the parquet floor for the Heat Arena, he'd never read prompter before, other than in our practice. He'd never read prepared remarks before, and we had no dress rehearsal. It's on my website. It's stunning. If you watch it, also watch him 6 months earlier when he at a presser or something like that, or speaking to the news. It's a fundamentally different communication. Some people, you wouldn't even know sometimes he's even reading. It's so embodied.
I've seen the speech. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, pretty cool.
I've
Huh?
seen it. Yeah, yeah.
And now, Dwayne is one of, obviously, broadcasters trained with me for decades. But Dwayne is the first elite athlete who not only trained with me as a broadcaster, but as a person. He's continuing to do this work because it's making him a deeper, more it's linking him up, connecting him in ways that he seeks out. Because it's not just about what he does, it's who he is. And it's integral to him. And so the relationship is really huge. And so to have that degree of trust means a lot. I share that. I hope you go watch it. It's really pretty darn cool. And my TED Talk, because you won't even know how all I'm doing is talking to you. But without all that preparation, you may see the white noise. White noise. No ums or uhs. No I think. I know you think it, you said it. But we tend to say I think, especially women, frankly, because we don't want to sound arrogant. But all it does is make you equivocal. If you're not sure of your answer, substitute I believe, just to break the behavior. But most of the time you know it's true, or you wouldn't be saying it. I think this would be a good thing for you to do. I believe this would be the right choice for you. Feel the difference? No you knows, no I means, no I think, you know, I mean. It's all white noise. What do you do instead? Breathe. Space has value. A song without a rest is not the same piece of music. That 1 second right there gives me thinking time. Synonym gives me control. Not just of the message, but of the messenger. Gives me a moment to hear myself and think about that next moment. Like when I look down and looked out. That 1 second looking down gives me a moment that I can make contact with. Space has value. Sitting in stature, and grab your napkin, please. What's the strongest muscle in the body per diameter?
The back.
The base of the tongue, yes. It's literally that thick in most of you. Your larynx is only about that big. Also, the larynx is the only muscle in the body that works only with air. Every other muscle works as muscle pulls against muscle, except the larynx. It only works as you put air through it. So every other single thing constricts it. Everything. So now we're going to learn how to just push air. So what's the most complex joint in your body? TMJ. I know nobody grinds their teeth in here, but some people out there might. And so we take this left or right hand, it doesn't matter which, and we're going to put it right here under your lip line. And notice where my hand is. I call it the V. It's right here in the middle, not squeezing your cheeks, just locking this part in right there, right under your lip, an inch high. And when I do this, watch what my head does. Nothing. But when you do it, your head's going to do this. And watch what my tongue does. Those of you can see. Nothing. It's just resting against my bottom teeth. That's the resting place. So your tongues won't do that now, so take this napkin, please, and you're going to do this. Go home. Hey, honey, what'd you do tonight? Please gently pull your tongue. Grabbing it like this. Because all we're trying to do is release all this tension. Head erect, hand to the jaw, pulling your jaw gently downward, neck and shoulders loose. You want to be able to see inside your mouth, so pull your tongue this way. Better. And all of this work, head erect please, is done on a mirror. You cannot do it without. Can you learn to dance without a mirror if you want to be a dancer? Of course not. Listen to me, it's very nasal. Ha. Everybody just go, ha. Ha. Ha is in hat. That's perfect, actually. Ha is in hat. 17 A's and a T. Listen. Ha. Very aesthetic, isn't it attractive? Ha. Ha. Watch me. Watch my jaw. This is what you want to do with yours. Ha. See my jaw come down? Yours won't do that, so you're going to help it. And now, I don't want you to reach the last row of the house. Everything in sport, everything from golf to tennis to swimming to whatever motion, everything goes this way. That quarterback does not throw like this. That ski jumper throwing at 70 miles an hour off that lift is not coming down like this. Their ski tip's like the wing of a plane. Gravity is bringing them down, but where is their intention? It's height and distance like that until the very end. It's a principle in acoustics called the Bernoulli effect. It's how we fly, it's how we do all these things aerodynamically. Voice is aerodynamic. So I want you to see the arc, A-R-C, the arc of your voice soaring. I'm going to take mine out. I want you to see the arc of your voice soaring. You know how flat it instantly gets, but I always see it. I want you to see the arc of your voice soaring. Put your hand on your core. Watch my hand and say, I am an extraordinary person and I do extraordinary things. And 3, no, just watch my hand. You have to burp before you do it, however. 3, loving breath. 2, I am an extraordinary person. A little louder though. One more time. 3, 2.
I'm an extraordinary person and I do extraordinary things.
Great. Keep your hand there. 5 seconds CLB. And 5, 4, eyes only on me. 3, deeper, deeper, deeper.
I'm an extraordinary person and I do extraordinary things.
Did your core work any differently the second time?
It moved.
It did too. Let's do it again. It may be subtle, but notice it right here. One more time. It did move, but notice what direction. Coming in 5, 4, 3. Wait. Andrea keeps wanting to do I'm. It's not a contraction. I am. Downbeat, underline. And use your eyes.
I am an extraordinary person and I do extraordinary things.
Now, did you feel it pull up a little bit?
Yeah.
I felt like I used the breath.
Yes. No, you felt like it. You actually did. So look at the size of our core muscles compared to the size of these puny little laryngeal muscles. This is the fulcrum on which everything balances. And it is the only way to get sound out of your body, by pushing in. Nothing else works. Crazy design. It's brilliant, astonishing. So, let's go back to this, very nasal. Ha as in hat. Sitting in stature, let's put it all together. Neck, shoulders loose, hand to the jaw. Neck, shoulders. Heads erect, eyes only on me, please. Feeling source. Conscious loving breath, deeper. Eyes, head erect, deeper, Deeper. Hat as in hat, very nasal. One more. That was really good. Really good. Crescendo. Get louder throughout the entire exercise. Heads erect. Really stay present. We're going to pull this core muscle. Neck, shoulders. And if you don't want to do that, can you place 2 fingers under your tongue, or is that uncomfortable? Yes. Oh, you are pulling. Okay, good. I didn't see. Stature. Neck, shoulders. Source. Excellent. Cup your hands. Feel a little tingly stuff going on? Just maybe some of you a little bit. I am an extraordinary person. Use some visceral language. I am an extraordinary person. Breath. And I do extraordinary things. I'll guide it. Don't rush me. Slowly, lovingly, deeper. Stature. Deeper. Big, wonderful. Eyes only on me.
I
am an extraordinary person, and I do extraordinary things.
Again, I need bigger. No wimpies. Think about one adjective if you've created a persona statement you want to embody. I hate the word competent. You see it in business things all the time. That's entry level. Why would I want to aspire to be competent? So I don't want any competent Jan Sayers right now, any competent this. I want you to be outrageous. Let's blow the roof off this place. Think about that adjective. Heads erect. Stature. Source. Deeper. Deeper. Eyes only on me. Use your eyes and embody visceral language.
I am an extraordinary person, and I do extraordinary things.
Louder. See me right here. We're going to stop and breathe. I'm going to do this after person. We're going to breathe for the second phrase. So don't rush me, please. No I'm. Neck, shoulders. Eyes on me. Joy in your faces. It's not a root canal.
I am an extraordinary person, and I do extraordinary things.
Beautiful. Rest. Is that the same voice you began with?
No.
Does it feel different?
Yes.
It clearly sounds different. But one other really important understanding is that voice is the only element in the universe that connects everything. Why? It's vibration. It's energy. I want you to own the power of that. You can hear me back there, can't you? I'm not working up a sweat. Before I put a slide up, I was in my seminars with this quote. Going to bed in 19, bless you. Oh, you were just choking, weren't you? Sorry, bless you anyway. I can not use blessings. I was going to bed in 1980, reading Quest magazine. And the thought came to me that wouldn't go away until it made me get up and write it down. And the only paper I had was a magazine, which is framed on my studio wall today. And it said, voice is the only artistic experience which is both finite and infinite at the same time. It is fallible and fragile, gone in an instant, unseen only felt, remembered from the past even a long moment ago, anticipated, sensing its future, even as its present has just occurred. That's what popped out one day. Over the next 3 or 4 years, I explored what happened and what that means. Studied from a perspective of voice science. At the time, I was one of the 25 people in the country invited to go to the University of Florida at Gainesville at a vocal think tank called the Institute for the Advanced Studies of the Communication Processes, for goodness gracious. And I checked it out with some of the world's most renowned voice scientists, really renowned people, legends. I studied it philosophically, spiritually, artistically. And I came to understand what my work was all about. If I substitute other words for the word voice, for example, life is the only artistic experience which is both finite and infinite at the same time. Or love. It's fallible and fragile, gone in an instant, unseen, only felt. I came to understand the paradigm of this work. And the paradigm shift, it's a trite phrase, but a true one in this case, the paradigm shift that is vocal awareness. That through this work, we get to live in the mastery of what is possible. And communicate through life and love the truth and integrity of who we are. At all times, to the best of our ability. It's been a joy. I came here from Los Angeles because of my dear friend there. And I'm glad I came. Would always love to bring value to you at any other time. This is my life's work. I don't do these types of events anymore. I don't like just come and do one thing. I like it because my vision is to change the world through voice, as Rex told you. So if I can be of service to you at any other time, it would be my joy. I'd like to put the other slide up. So I created this Leadership Academy program. And these are all the elements. 4 master classes with me, and Mastery ebook, Leadership Mastery ebook, Visceral language training. All of these things, this bonus vault where you deepen in the work. 2 90-minute group calls with me, 2 one-hour support calls with me, and access to the private community I have. That's its actual value if I add all those elements together. Would we go to the next one, please? Oh, that was me teaching for Tony a couple of years ago. So, up until the 20th, and what's today? The 12th, I guess. Is today the 12th?
It is.
So for around a week, you get it for that instead of that. And you get it for that at this link down below, vocalawareness.com/empowerment. So if anybody's interested, that's where you would get. I don't come to sell that, to make extra money. I come to offer that because this work can help you change your life. So now let's shift. First of all, tell me the truth. Has this been worth your time?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
I can tell you.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
I said I can
I
tell
can't hear you, I'm sorry. Do you mind? I'm asking you to be in the work. Is that okay?
Yes. I can tell you an example of why this was important.
Now tell me, that was so much, wasn't that lovely? So much nice. Now see if you can see periods every time you stop. Even if it's not a complete stop. It's really excellent, Andre.
I'll continue with the information. A lot of finance professionals are very skilled, but they don't practice presenting or communicating enough. So tying communication and vocal awareness in this sense with skilled and technical knowledge becomes very powerful.
Isn't that cool? Now, did she sound too formal like earlier? No. And she didn't, again talking to her unconscious. As I'm doing this, you're pushing pressure. You're moving the
Yeah, I
thought.
was trying to think
I know,
while following.
yeah, you don't want to, your body already understood it.
Yeah.
And you did a really lovely job, but did you notice that you're using energy? And did you notice, because I asked you to see that stupid period, you stopped and breathed and you saw that, which then made you more impactful.
True.
And then very importantly, because you were listening, we felt another level of commitment which made you more compelling. And did you notice the pitch of your voice? It was a bit lower.
Yes.
Yeah, which is also important for you, especially in finance.
Yeah.
If I'm saying, what would you like me to do with your $10,000? How would you like me to invest your $10,000? Just pitch. That's huge. So, anything else? Nope,
Yes.
I'll wait.
English is
I'll
my.
wait, I'll wait. You can keep your leg crossed.
I feel like it doesn't work. I have.
It does, it does. I don't want you to feel stiff, really. Cross your leg again, please. Just feel stature,
English is my second language.
but don't forget the CLB, conscious loving breath. Nope, that's a bench press. Been hanging out with him too long. Slow and loving.
English is my second language.
Feel the difference. You did, didn't you?
Yeah. Good.
And that wasn't difficult. You just needed to stick with the rules.
True.
And it brought out a bit more of what's possible.
Yes.
And didn't make you feel conspicuous, like I'm making you do something.
Yes.
It felt you more empowered and natural.
So. To
I'll
this-
wait. Breath is the pattern interrupt. So English is your second language.
It
What's your
is.
first?
Spanish. I've taken a lot of public speaking courses. I really love to do it. And the most interesting feedback is keeping the voice monotone. Something that helps is breathing and pausing, and that's how you get out of that. So, sorry, I'm trying to follow you.
I'm just listening. Tell me this in Spanish for a moment, please.
Mi primer idioma es español,
I can't hear you. Where are you from?
Mexico.
This isn't Cuba. Why are you speaking so fast? Slow down.
Okay, I'll go slow. Mi primer idioma es español.
Why are you up there?
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Your pitch went higher in Spanish, which was so
Maybe I
surprising.
maybe I got nervous speaking in Spanish.
Maybe you did, because normally when we speak in our origin language, the pitch is always lower. Yours just went higher, partly because you went faster, but also it made you a bit uncomfortable.
I think so. I don't use it.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
Is it all right that I'm
setting.
asking you to do this?
Yeah, it doesn't
Cool.
bother.
So I want you to be this big bombastic woman that you're learning to be.
Okay.
Be like your president, man. She's cool.
No comment.
I like her strength as a woman.
Thank you. Mi primer idioma es español.
See, do that again. See a period there after español.
Mi primer idioma es español.
No, you didn't see the period. Español.
Mi primer idioma es español. I'm not getting it.
See the dot. Slower.
Mi primer idioma es español.
Yes.
That was different.
The
I
inf-
tried.
Yeah, the inflection went down. So you do it again.
Mi primer idioma es español.
You see, it becomes immediately more subtly, subliminally definitive.
It's true.
I noticed when I said it.
Well, I felt it.
Of
There's
course.
a difference.
And all it is a stupid period. But what it does is takes the inflection down. And the lower the pitch, the lower the vibration, the more authority. Subliminally speaking.
It's true.
I know, I just said it.
Sorry, I shouldn't. Yes.
I'm just playing with you. Continue in Spanish.
I'll change the message.
Of course, whatever you, I don't care what you're talking.
Es importante tener variedad en el tono de cómo se habla.
Isn't that beautiful? That's really nice. I actually got a chill from that. And how did that feel for you?
Good. It
Yes.
feels great.
Yes.
But that's my point. You learn to do it in different languages, but it comes more from like learning to breathe and to pause.
Yeah, but you ain't never learned any of this stuff like you learned on tonight.
No.
No. So you're going to be really cool and dangerous.
Yes.
In Spanish or English. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you.
Any questions, observations, anything anybody wants to share? Yes, sir.
I have a
No.
question.
If Andrea had to do it from the back of the room, you got to do the work, man. Stature.
I'll try.
No, don't try. You can do it. I'll help you. Is that all right?
Yes.
Stature, source, CLB, deeper, 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 begin.
So you mentioned that many of your clients are athletes and I think other groups that I forgot. A question. I see a lot of what you're mentioning in stand-up comedians.
A lot of them, when I'm mentioning what?
Stand-up comedians, when somebody's
Stand-up
Oh, stand-up comedians,
yes. The pauses, the breathing dynamics. Do you see that helping them as well?
Oh, of course. I read George Burns was a great comedian from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And his autobiography was called Say Goodnight, Gracie. Gracie Allen was his wife. And the last thing he used to say on his radio or TV shows back in the 40s and 50s was, say goodnight, Gracie, and she would say goodnight. And, oh yes, Gracie, thank you. And he spoke about in a night, and part of his shtick was he always smoked a cigar. But he talked about in his nightclub act never smoking an expensive cigar. Because an expensive cigar was all tobacco and would constantly go out and it would ruin the timing of a joke. So he would smoke a 25-cent cigar, filler, and he could puff it and not ruin the timing of a joke. If you look at my business clients, Commissioner Goodell, the commissioner of the National Football League, wrote the foreword for one of my books. Trained at the Federal Reserve Bank, E&Y, Deloitte, all these types of economic companies, and some of the biggest brands from Lexus and Toyota to whatever. Because I'm teaching empowerment, I'm teaching leadership. And to be frank, and it will sound corny and silly, it is one size fits all. We all have to breathe. People ask, what's your target market? I said, I sell air. We all have to breathe and we all have to talk. But at this stage of my journey, I choose where I want to take it because I want to impact people who impact the lives of lots of people. Because I can't change the world through voice by myself or staying in my fancy little garret at home. So, yes, lots of athletes because people know Anne Bancroft and they know about the original Maria and West Side Story, blah, blah, blah. That was an American musical. Way before you were gleaming your mommy's eye.
Also know that, yes.
But it's you whom I really want to impact. Because you affect me on the ground. Everybody, every day. And you want to help them feel, as I said at the outset, when they give you their financial portfolio, they're giving them you themselves. The trust, the sanctity, the sovereignty, safety. So how do we really do that, and not just in the transactional way? But how do we do it in the ways that you're experiencing tonight, where you're genuinely present? When I've trained therapists over the years, I always say, don't talk to me in the therapeutic voice. I don't want to hear this voice. I want to hear the real. How can I trust you when you speak with me like a therapist? I want you to talk with me like a real person. Because the energy of that is safer. This is hierarchical. It separates us. Does that make any sense in just a passing thought way? So we're looking to discover our voice and embody that person. And as you were speaking, as Andrea was speaking, as I'm forcing people to pay attention, you'll notice that you're listening to yourself. You're taking charge of that moment by staying tuned in. And that's the point. That's the beginnings of conscious awareness. Have I presented one moment to you tonight? Or am I being Arthur? Can you even tell? Do I hope you like me? I'm too much of a troll and a curmudgeon. No, I'm really just being in the work. Yes, you had a statement or question. I'll wait.
I am intrigued with a couple
Tell
of.
me that again,
I-
and see that period. The rule is, every time I stop, and I'm demonstrating it, even if it is not a complete thought like this, I see a period. Or if we're in Europe, I see a full stop. I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued.
No, see the dot.
I'm intrigued.
No. Show him how, Andrea.
I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued.
No.
No, I'm intrigued.
Better, but don't rush it.
I'm intrigued by the thing that you talked about around going high. Partly because I have a tennis coach, and he said the exact same thing over and over again. When you serve, you're supposed to snap
Yep.
high. And I'm finding a certain continuity in it that's interesting to me.
Wasn't
And I
that
thought I'd
nice?
share it.
And did you notice as you deliver that you again stay tuned in?
Yes.
So we don't settle. This is mastery. We self-correct. And that didn't take brain surgery. You did that really well. But if I'd let you off the hook, we would have settled. I can't see a stupid period. But we can see a stupid period.
Yeah.
And it makes all the difference in the world. And when we see that period, we breathe. Now I've gotten color in my narrative. I'm not just speaking monochromatically like this. Rather, I'm speaking like this. My inflection goes down. I breathe. Now I've got a new melody here. Inflection. So I've got lots of variety I can entertain you with. Any other questions or observations? One or two more before I say goodbye? And if there are no more, I'll say goodbye. Yes?
I'd love for you to.
I'm so sorry.
I'd love for you to recap on the 7 rituals of stature. I found that very insightful, particularly this deep.
Make them go pay money for it, man. What are you talking about? I'm not going to recount all because I haven't taught all. But to recount, sovereignty is not one of the 7 rituals. It is preparation for everything we do. First piece of the mastery moment. First ritual is to say thank you. Second piece of the mastery moment. Third ritual is to allow 5 to 7 seconds slow, loving, conscious breath. We don't take it, we allow it slowly. The fourth ritual is to see the edge and arc of sound. Put your finger right here under your nose. When I speak, I need to be aware. 3, 2.
When I
speak, I need to be aware.
Now put your fingernail right on the edge of your top lip. Fingernail right there. And look at the angle of my hand. It's not bent. It's going up like this, watching my plane take off tomorrow morning. 5. Deeper, deeper. No, yours is on the wrong top lip.
Top lip.
Uh-huh. Don't bend it. Stature. I'm an extraordinary, what did I say before? When I speak, okay. Deeper.
When I speak, I need to pay
need to
attention.
be aware.
Again. Again.
When I speak, I need to be aware.
Put it back here. 3, 2.
When I speak, I need to be aware.
Do they feel or sound the same?
I didn't notice the difference.
Oh, okay. Let's notice the difference because there's a difference. A very important one, actually.
When I speak, I need to be aware.
Now you notice the difference. Second one had more energy, had more presence. Do it by yourself if you don't mind.
Based on the finger?
Yeah, it's stupid, but it's true.
Is it because you're pointing down?
No, that's no. Put your finger here again. Do you mind if we do it by just you? Finger under your nose first.
When I speak, I need to be aware.
Okay, fingernail, and wait for me this time. Breathe deeper, deeper.
When I speak, I need to be aware.
Now you heard the difference. Second one had more energy.
I heard an echo difference because my hand is higher.
Oh, no.
I
Physiological.
believe you.
Yeah, we heard it, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, that's weird.
Again, it's Bernoulli, the law of physics. The dot on a golf ball, your spot for that serve, dot, 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 dot. That's all the same. This, if you see any of my work, it's called the edge and arc of sound. There's a dot here. And we see that, and then we see this arrow point driving Bernoulli. Here, it's less focused. And so it energetically makes it's flatter. It's not going anywhere. And if you put your hand here, you would feel the second time, as I'm doing that, core is working harder. You may have felt that, but I wasn't focused on it, so you probably didn't notice. But it's really important because that's what I do all night. If I take it away, like I'm taking it out right now, notice what energetically happens immediately. My voice is flat. Now I put it back in and you hear there's more amplitude and energy and whatever else in my voice. Did you feel that or hear that? Yeah. So it's structurally quite important. So that's the fourth ritual, to see the edge and arc of sound. The fifth is take my time. So you learn that it's never how fast, it's only how effective. The sixth is pay attention, deeper listening. It's where you aspire to be. We listen, pay attention out here and listen deeply inside. Staying mindful of the inter and interpersonal relationship, the source itself. And the whole point of doing this, if you have a piece of paper or just on your phone, write this down. This is the seventh ritual of vocal awareness. Be myself. I presume you wrote 2 words, be myself, those of you who wrote it. It's not, it's 3 words. Third word begins with a capital S. Be my, and write it again, please. That's not just a different writing, it means something different. You feel that? That's this work. Notice it categorically does not say present. It says be. So I said somewhere this evening that this is a being work, but we have to do it to be it. And so in this program that I've created, it's frankly an enormous opportunity to build on the exposure that you got tonight, to set yourself a Q2 goal, maybe a Q3 goal, with benchmarks for deliverables. You do this, and in the course, we can work on, I've got a talk coming up. I've got a client who has he just told me the other day, it's now worth a little under $1 billion of investors. It's an energy company called Core, K-O-R-E. It's really worth looking at, because maybe the only company of its time, fuel comes from waste. He gets it out of landfills and dumpsters and everything like that. And he's speaking at this global conference, he told me a couple of days ago, the most important energy conference in the world in Houston, the end of March. So for our lesson next week, he's going to give me a paragraph, and we're going to begin to work it, because he's doing an important speech there. We want to build it out so that it's an opportunity to show up, and then becomes a metaphor. It's okay, this is me. Let's move on to the next one, and the next one. So, just food for thought. Thank you all so very much. You've been lovely. And I know this is a very unique experience, but I hope it was a worthy experience. Thank you for letting me teach tonight. God bless. I'm going to read one last thing I should have read at the top, since you're still here. I brought this. This is a quote from Warren Buffett. I took out of a newspaper a number of years ago. Warren Buffett, speaking to a class of business students in Columbia University in 2009, quote, "Right now I would pay $100,000 for 10% of the future earnings of any of you. So if you're interested, see me after class. Now, you can improve your value by 50% just by learning communication skills. Public speaking. If that is the case, see me after class and I will pay you $150,000. Warren Buffett. Kind of a cool way to end. So, thanks teammates.